The transfer window has closed, which means Premier League clubs can no longer buy or loan in players. However, if they've still got space in their 25-man squad, they can still pick up a freebie. They can still sign free agents. So what we're going to do today is we're going to have a look at those free agents and see if there's anyone that tickles our fancy. But before we get into it, Frankie, West Ham are on the verge of signing a free agent in Lucas Fabianski. What's your thoughts on the Polish goalkeeper potentially returning to the club?
Yeah, I mean, someone actually, it's so strange. Someone commented to me, I think was it my dad or one of his mates who was in the pub the other day when we was watching the Nottingham Forest game. And we was talking about the goalkeeper situation and so on. And someone actually turned around and said we should have just kept Fabianski because he was steady. And yeah, okay, he might be slowing down. His reactions aren't quite what they used to be. But, you know, he was okay and still doing a job. So while we've got ourselves in this mess that we've got with goalkeepers at the moment, it might have been better to keep him around. Even if it was just that third choice, he's still someone who's been in around the club for a long time. Yeah. It's just one of them things that seems to just make sense. So are we looking at this as a signing that he's going to start the next match against Tottenham? Absolutely not. I still think we've got two goalkeepers there who I would prefer. But Fabianski might just, one, keep them on their toes. And two, he might just be a very calm, level head for Hermansen while he's bedding in. If there was someone to put their arm round a brand new goalkeeper at the football club, I think Fabianski's the bang on the man you'd want to do it.
Yeah, I completely agree with that, actually. I think what we heard towards the end of the transfer window, now whether you agree with it or not, or whether you blame him or not, put that to one side for the next couple of minutes here. But there was that story that came out that Graham Potter feels like there's a lack of leadership in the West Ham squad. Now, like I said, you could say that it's self-inflicted, and I would agree. But I think potentially bringing Fabianski back maybe brings a little bit of that leadership back into the changing room. Someone that's been around the club for a while, knows all the players bar a handful, and is really, really calm. You know, Noble and other players have spoken on occasions publicly about how Fabianski is the calmest player in that team, and that influence he has is a really positive one. So, like you said, Hermansen's had a bit of a shaky start. So if Fabianski's there on training ground with him, just helping him and helping him develop, that's only a good thing as far as I'm concerned. I only see positives with this transfer. Fodringham's gone, so we do need a third goalkeeper unless we ask one of the youngsters to step up. But in terms of Fabianski coming back, I thought he was fine last season in the Premier League. And because of the character of Fabianski, it carries that extra weight, doesn't it? You're not just bringing in a player, you're bringing in a man, you're bringing in someone that potentially you would hope could move into the coaching side of things at the football club and stuff, and that he would be here in 5-10 years' time in a completely different capacity. So yeah, I'm all for it, Frankie. I think it's listen, at the end of the day, he's replacing Wes Fodringham, and is Lucas Fabianski an upgrade on Wes Fodringham? 100. It's a massive upgrade because I could never see, even if Ariel and Hermansen were poor, we would just alternate between the two. There was never a set of circumstances in which we see Wes Fodringham start over those two. But as Frankie's hinted at, there is a set of circumstances. Actually, you could see Potter turn around going, do you know what? You two aren't cutting it. Fabianski, you're in goal. You're the number one for the next game. So, yeah, I think this is only good. Anything else you'd like to add regarding Lucas Fabianski, Frankie, before we get the list up and see if there's anyone that you fancy?
No, just that I think that lack of leadership, I think whether Potter believes it or not, I think we can all see that there's a bit of a lack of that at the moment. And maybe we have lost too many of people who know what it means to be a West Ham and been around it and understand it. And it seems like an easy way to resolve some of that. Yeah, so I think it's a no-brainer.
Sensible from West Ham. Right then, we've got the list up. I can't make it any bigger. I apologise, but I'll do my best to sort of read it out to you. There's tickets for Mamma Mia the party at the O2 London. If anyone fancies it, I can just click over here for you.
That's a hint, Gio. The other half, we know what she fancies.
Yeah, but look at it, from £109. That's his cheapest ticket.
Funnily enough, Gio, see this. I went round the other day because we was going back to my friends in Lewisham and got the from Pudding Mill Lane after the game. Gio, the atmosphere because of Mamma Mia the party, and there's a little party bar around there where you can have a drink outside Pudding Mill Lane. If you're at a loose end for what to do after a West Ham game and fancy a change of scenery, Gio, it was all right. It weren't bad.
Was that not ABBA?
ABBA, sorry, it was ABBA.
I'm about to say, that's
all
ABBA.
The same to me, Gio. All the same to me.
Anyway, right then, let's take a look at the players. So at the very top there, it's just done in terms of market value, according to Transfer Market. We'll put the link to this page in the description below, so you want to go have a little look yourself. You're more than welcome. Tomiyasu, former Arsenal defender, obviously just had a really big injury. I think he's out until December or something, and that's why they've agreed to sort of mutual termination of his contract. Just 26 years of age, though. Josh Brownhill, who's on the verge of agreeing a deal to Saudi. We've got Reguli on there, who used to play for Spurs and had appeared at Brentford and Man United. Josh De Silva, he was a good midfielder once upon a time at Brentford, weren't he? Just 26 of age. Years of old. I'm surprised.
He's got Zoomies.
Has he? Is that why is he permanently broken?
Mm-hmm.
Ziyech, I used to love him. He was one of my favourite sort of non-Premier League players when he was at Ajax. I used to love Ziyech. Don't know what he's been up to. Has he been in Turkey recently? Is that where he's been? I don't know. We'll have a look. Let's have a look at Ziyech. See where he's been. Where's his?
It will come up there. It's not quite.
Yeah, there we go.
There you go.
Al Duhail, Saudi, I assume. So he was at Galatasaray and went in a free transfer. So he's free at the minute. I wouldn't take him, but he's certainly someone that has had a really good career. Christian Eriksen, still a free transfer after leaving Manchester United. And now we're getting into the names of the players that I don't know and can't pronounce. Kuziev, Zadlar, Amani. Let's just stop pronouncing some of these.
Karsdorp is someone that I do know, to be fair.
Who's that, sorry?
Karsdorp, the right back, the Dutch player in there. I do know of him.
Where was he from?
I can't remember. But I do know him as a player. Most of his football.
Why is this box taken away? Here we go. PSV and previously at Roma.
Roma, yeah.
Yeah, he's not someone I'm familiar with. Emmanuel Dennis is still only 27 years of age. Nottingham Forest, weren't he? It was his latest club. And before that at Watford, he was part of that Watford 3 with Sarr and Pedro. He's just someone that's just... 12 and 52 doesn't sound that bad, does it, for a goal-scoring record, and also 8 assists. So 20 goals and assists in 52 games in the Premier League doesn't sound terrible. Only 27 years of age, but he's someone that's just fell off a cliff, really, isn't he? Here's someone else that's fell off a cliff. Jamal Lewis, do you remember him?
Yeah, I do.
Him and Max Aarons. Yeah.
And Norwich.
Yeah, him and Max Aarons were the sort of two best upcoming fullbacks. Was at Newcastle, went out to Sao Paulo on loan. Just had some unsuccessful loans, but 27 years of age. Again, we didn't have him at West Ham. I'm surprised he's not found a club. Daniel Amarte, is that the former Leicester player?
That is.
Yeah. Oxlade Chamberlain is a
Again,
free.
Just don't play football, does he?
Just broken. Where was he recently? Was he out in Turkey as well? I think he was.
Yeah, he did have a move abroad.
Yeah, he went out to Besiktas. And he's now a free agent. But again, it feels like a punt for, I don't know, a championship club, surely. Where are we? So who else we've got then? Right.
Denial.
Can be. Denial, yeah. We've got Dele Alli. I mean, that's just...
It's a shame what's happened to him.
Yeah, it's sad.
But you watch him on that the Tottenham documentary, and his head was just gone, just finished.
Yeah, I remember his podcast with Gary Neville. He had Gary Neville in tears, didn't he? About like his mental health struggles and his past life and whatever. and he went out to Como, and I thought, there you go, like, get away from England. Fabregas is killing it as a manager out there, who, you know, is one of the best upcoming managers in world football, I think. And I think, you know, whenever a next top job comes up, I think he'll be the one that's favourite for it. And I thought, go on, go do it. I found myself really rooting for him, despite him being Spurs and whatnot. Just because of his struggles in life, I found myself really wanting to see him, because he was fantastic, wasn't he? At one point with Son and Kane, he was like one of the best midfielders in the country. But it's just someone that's had a bad life, and it's just taken over, unfortunately. Patrick Bamford, released from Leeds. Again, just injury prone. He didn't really play much last season in Championship. He was sort of second or third choice striker. Still only 32 though, so maybe a punt for someone. Some quite recognisable names on this list, Frankie.
Yeah, you had Rafinha that just gone past there for ex-Barcelona again, but want too much money wherever he would go. Pjanic there as well. He's big name. So there are some big, but again, it's just like a crocked list, Gio, isn't it? It's the aisle in the supermarket with the damaged goods.
Yeah. Do you know what this feels like? It feels like Football Manager.
That's exactly what it's like.
It's like Football Manager at the end of the first day of the new season, pre-season, you go onto the list of free agents, and this is what it looks like. It's just,
but you need a filter, Gio, with pace, because you still want them to have a bit of pace, and then you have to add a filter on for determination, all those little things that, even though that they're old and cropped, might mean that they can still do a job.
Riedwald, I remember him. He was looking all right at Crystal Palace, weren't he? I'm assuming that's the Palace midfielder, but he looked okay at times, an absolute unit. And Sickney there, he was out in MLS, weren't he? I'm sure he was in the MLS recently after his stint in Serie A. I'll load up a second. Wherever he was at, was it Toronto? Yeah, it was at Toronto. He was at. So he's 35 now. He's getting on a little bit. Very small. Who else we've got here? Tom Lawrence. I remember him being at Derby. I liked him when he was at Derby. Not so good at Leicester before that, and his move to Rangers didn't really work out. Right, on to the next page. Yakan Bash. That's the failed transfer for Brighton. They spent big money on him. Just 32 years old. Nathan Redmond's only 30. How is he only 31? There needs to be a steward's inquiry into that. I feel like he's 40. He's been around forever. I think this is it. All my adult life, Nathan Redmond's been playing football, so it's weird to see him sort of without a club. Craig
Samuel
Dawson,
Umtiti there as well. Above that, Samuel Umtiti was a serious defender at one point.
Yeah, he went to Barca, didn't he?
Yeah, he was at Barca.
It was Delort. Was he at Burnley? Am I imagining this, Frankie?
You've been good so far, Joe. I've got to say, knowledge has been on point.
I want to say he was definitely in England somewhere. Where was he? Wigan. He was at Wigan. Why did I had Burnley in my head for some reason? Anyway, Wigan. He was at very briefly. Let's put it back onto page 1. What are you doing? Anyway, FC 26 is out soon for anyone interested. You can pre-order. It's a nice advert. That was Latan in it. Right, let's scroll back to the top and get back down. Here we go. Where were we? We were at Dawson Isaac's success. He was Watford as well.
Yeah.
Just a Palace player. Ebowie. I think it's Palace. He's only 22. I'm sure he was at Palace.
Yeah, I can't say I know him, Joe, if I'm honest.
Maybe he was at Palace. Yeah. He's only
done the youth circuit there. Look, Arsenal youth, Chelsea youth.
Yeah. Rangers as well. Up to Rangers. Had a bit of Derby, then he was at Palace for a bit, but never really played for them, really. But only 22 years of age. It's funny, isn't it, how you can be at the academy of a Premier League club, well, multiple Premier League clubs, and you get a Premier League contract with Crystal Palace, and then suddenly no one's interested in you. You're only 22.
Deeper problems, actually.
Yeah, it does ping along. But El Ghazi, bloody hell, only 30. That was the former Villa winger. Went to Cardiff for a bit. Abu Bakr is his name. We
Yeah.
were linked with him for quite some time as well, weren't we? He's someone that we were linked to quite often.
Yeah.
Romeo, Southampton's defensive midfielder. Puskas. Is that the Rangers one? No, that was Hadji. Is it Rangers?
Yeah.
No,
Hadji was Rangers, wasn't it?
Hadji was Rangers. Yeah, he's in Italy.
Reading.
Reading, that's it. Reading. I think he was quite good at Reading. Maybe I'm imagining that. Was he? Did he not score goals at Reading, Puskas? I think he. Am I imagining this? No, 4 goals in 21. Scrap that. Oh, here we go. 12 and 33. That's all right for a championship level. So maybe he was all right at Reading. I wonder if anyone's still watching us just look through and just, what's this advert? Get off my screen. How do I get rid of it? Where's even the cross? At least sponsor the video. Do you know what I mean? Get off the page. How do I even, let me refresh. Get off of here. Get out of here. Taking all that free promo. Anyway, right, who we got at the bottom?
Courtney Howes, he was Aston Villa.
Yeah, he was. Was he not? He's West Ham as well, isn't he?
Was he?
Was he in our academy? I think he's a West Ham fan.
Mm.
Was he in our academy? I see him now. This Quasion. Hang on a minute. I recognise his name, but I've got a feeling I might recognise his name from Football Manager. Football Manager players. Was this guy good? Wait, I'm trying to think. Did he used to play in England then? Why do I recognise his name? I don't think he did. I'm going to have a look now, Frankie. Why do I recognise this guy's name? I think maybe I just signed him on Football Manager. Okay. I think I've get this thing off of here. What is this? How do I get rid of it? Why is there no...
There ain't even a way of closing it down. It's just...
No, exactly. Anyway, Quasion was at Mainz. That's why I recognise
he was at Iacor. My tattoo on my arms. Yeah, Iacor.
This bloody... Look how invasive this is. Anyway, where are we going? We're going to Courtney House. Where are you? He's on the other page. Sorry, everyone. Don't join Bet365. You do pre-order FC26 if that's your thing, though. Let me just refresh. There we go. Right. Oh, for Frankie, what's the...
Making it hard work. I don't know what to do with that, Gio. That is, yeah, it's a nightmare.
Right, Courtney, here we go. I'm navigating my way to him. I'm sure he was in our academy. Here we are, Youth Club. Look at that. West Ham United.
Gio's
West Ham Youth.
On point again.
I knew he was in our academy. It was back in 2011. But I knew he was in our academy. I think he's a West Ham fan as well. I think he is. I think he's a Hammer. Maybe. Right, page 3. We're at the slums now. We're into players worth €1 million. Bet365 are kindly letting us have a look at these players.
How they've got a value of Benjamin Mendy, I don't know.
He was like 55, 60 million, weren't he? But he's obviously had a lot of off-field issues and stuff. Manquillo, former Newcastle.
Yeah.
Right back. Bet365 is back. Oh, it's gone away. That's good. That's kind of them. Not recognising too many of these players now, Frankie. I'll be honest with you.
No, it's getting a bit shady.
Just there's someone at the bottom still. Got Tom Lockyer, obviously Luton. Rawls was Cardiff. Delfeo, only 31. What's happened to him? Right, we'll click on him, but before we do, we've got John Shelby at the bottom there. Remember him?
West Ham fan.
Right, Gerard Delafeu. This will be the last player we'll have a look at. Because he was decent when he was at, Watford. Not as good at Everton, but he wasn't terrible at Everton, I don't think. But certainly at Watford, he was really good. Going out to Italy, I thought he was doing well in Italy. Only 16 games last season, just the 2 goals. But season prior, 34 games and 13 goals. Is that Udinese? Yeah. So, I don't know. I thought Delafeu was never the worst. Jesus, 20 goals in 127 games. So, a winger for a lot of it, though. Maybe he wasn't as good as I thought. Maybe it's one of those players that has a better reputation in my head than he does ability-wise. But he was certainly a player I always thought was on the decent side of things. Anyway, there's your free agents, and there's some free promo for Bet365. Anyone tickling your fancy, Frankie?
There was one a bit further down the list, Gio, because I did have a look before we came off, which was the one and only Dimitri Payet. So
yeah, he's still there,
on
kicking
there.
around, isn't he?
We could have quite a good, if it still existed, the old five-a-side legends with West Ham links. We could have that Courtney Howes, John Joe Shelby, Andre Ayew's on there, Craig Dawson, Dimitri Payet. I think they'd go and do
currently, Lucas Fabianski in goal.
There you go. So
I think Roberto's on the list as well. I think
No,
he is. I think he might be. Maybe he's retired, and I'm just imagining it because we did the video previously. But there you go. So we've got Fabianski in goal, House in defence, Shelby and Payet midfield. Do we have a striker? Sorry, do we have
Andre Ayew?
There you go. He's up front, slamming them in. There you go. That's the West Ham free agent five-a-side team. So there's no one for me, to be honest with you, Frankie. I think I always tend to think they're free agents for a reason.
More so now, Gio. I think there's too much money involved now. In the old days, you did have players whose contract would expire, and you would be able to potentially go and have a little pickup. I think there's too much riding on one. Signing on fees for players at that stage of their career. If they're any good, they get picked up quickly because they want that signing on fee because it's their last payment of their career. And too much money riding on clubs letting players' contracts expire. It just can't be done anymore. And as soon as what you normally find is they don't get to free transfers, a club will come and sign them once that contract's signed, so they move to the other club straight away. So it's just a bit of a thing of the past, the free agent market, I think.
I think we've also picked up the best one, or one of the best ones, with Kyle Walker-Peters. Yeah. I think we've already had one of the best free agents kicking around this summer, but there's no one really on that list that would tickle my fancy, to be honest with you. Josh Brownhill maybe, but he's on the verge of going to Saudi for 100 grand a week, so I certainly wouldn't be putting in an offer to compete with what he's been offered from Saudi. Is it? Whoa, that's way too expensive for us. But I think as a squad player, maybe. But again, I'd be looking at like a 1-year contract or something, given that he's 29. But I think he'd be looking for a multiple year contract. So anyway, we'll leave it there. Frankie, you guys at home, thank you very much for joining us and putting up with us as we navigated our way around the free agent list. If there's anyone that you like the look of, though, perhaps someone that me and Frankie have skipped past or we don't know enough about, please do leave it in the comments below. But if you've enjoyed this video, please do drop a like on it. We've recorded 2 videos today, something a little bit light-hearted, something a little bit fun, a little bit different. We did our tier list earlier, ranking the last 40 signings at West Ham. It is a bit long, but do go give it a watch, give it a listen, and get involved as well. We'll be back tomorrow with our usual content, as we'll be doing our match preview, looking ahead to that game against Spurs at the weekend. But if you enjoyed this video, before you go, please do drop a like on it. Sky, how much chat myself and Frankie. Catch you in a bit.